welcome to only the second edition of Godzilla Showcase. Literally the exact same videos I was doing before, so a fancier name. Yay! And for our second edition, we have a Bandai figure. The first one. Well, actually, no, I've talked about Bandai before, but this is the Fest Godzilla Jaguar Bandai figure. He's already out of his box. Seriously, there's a reason why I only collect Godzilla figures that have tails. This guy was quite difficult to get standing on this thing. It doesn't also help the fact that he's a wee bit warped, but I'll talk about that a wee bit later. Anyway, overview time. So I'll give you a 360 of the figure, and talk a little bit about Jaguar for those who don't know him, aren't familiar with the Toho stuff, or just are more familiar with the Monsterverse. So, he's only in one movie. Perfect. The end. No. He first appeared in the 1973 film Godzilla vs. Megalon. Originally intended to be the main character of that film, or at least legend goes. But Godzilla was added in the last minute. Jaguar was also designed by a child. I thought I'd bring that up. He definitely looks like someone designed by a child. No offense, kid. So, he was meant to be the main monster, then kind of got the second billing, but, you know, he still plays a big role in that movie. He's designed by the main characters. I can't even remember why. I literally just watched that movie. I don't even think they explained why they made him. Because they invent stuff. Yeah, I guess so. He's pretty useful early on once he gets turned on. He, like, knocks down intruders coming to the house trying to steal the tech for Jet. Knocks them out by accident because he bowed. I just thought that scene was funny. Pretty much what ends up happening, why there's people trying to get him, is because there's a race of underground dwellers called the, I'm trying to actually remember, Ceetopolis people or something like that. Pretty much a bunch of people who live underground and look like they came from the YMCA. Anyway, they get control of Jet, and they use him to lure out and guide their giant monster, Megalon, who is an absolute goofball and doesn't really seem to know what he's doing, so he needs Jet to fly around and tell him what to do. Eventually, the heroes, our brilliant main characters, get control of him again and tell him, go get Godzilla, we need to stop this guy. Okay, goes off, gets Godzilla, comes back, and then somehow gains sentience. I still don't know. I don't think they really elaborate in the movie. I just watched this bloody film and I can't even remember. They say he has a brain, which I'm just trying to think of the legal troubles he's got into from finding a brain. Is this like Frankenstein or something like that? I just thought that was funny. Well, to be fair, in the other dubs of the movie, they say it's King Kong in this thing. Look it up. I think it's the German version. It says that. It's either the German version or another version, I can't remember. Anyway, so Jet helps Godzilla defeat the monsters. He also is able to change size. That's how he's able to grow. He starts off small and then he grows, and then that's another thing that just sort of comes out of nowhere. They win. It's such an entertaining fight. I'm not gonna lie, it's such an entertaining fight. But they win, and then Jaguar comes back with his family. That's it. It doesn't show up in our movie. The character did get a wee bit of a resurgence, though, in about the 2000s and into the 2010s and to nowadays, as kind of a giant meme. Like, this is a giant meme character in the Godzilla fandom. He is put into the Atari fighting games, the second and third one, Save the Earth and Unleashed. He is in the PS4 game. He also makes an appearance in the Rulers of Earth comics, which I would say, if you want a Jet Jaguar story to read or look at, go for that one. He pilots Mechagodzilla, that's all I need to say. And then also later appears in Singular Point as the sort of main hero robot of it all. And he also now appears in the what is called the Fest Godzilla short films. They are short films made for the anniversary of Godzilla. There's about 5 of them. He appears in the last 2. Operation Jet Jaguar is the 4th one, and I cannot remember the name of the second one. That's all really with him. Yeah, it's easy enough to say. So, let's move on. Articulation time. What articulation? It's a Bandai figure. They don't come with articulation. Well, I mean, there's a wee bit. I should preference by saying he has a wee bit of a weird slant forward, but that's not supposed to be there. My one's a little bit warped, so that's why he's stepping forward a little bit. So your one may not turn out that way, but my one did. Anyway, really, in terms of articulation, it's that he can move his arms. There's no leg articulation. The head doesn't move. I do like the fact he can do hiking action. Hitchhike. Can I get a ride, mate? I do like that. You can also do this. It's just horrifying looking. Absolutely horrifying. That's really it for articulation. You don't buy these figures for articulation, I guess. Children mostly buy them to slam them against something. But there is one more thing I should mention, and you've probably seen it in the photo there. He comes with extra arms. Let's get these extra arms on. Yeah, there was absolutely no way I was doing that on camera. Excuse me. Soft vinyl is probably the greatest material you can make a figure out of. Like, honestly, they're that durable. I could throw it against the wall, it would be fine. I could throw it against a person, it'd be fine. I could have my entire ceiling collapse on them, and they'd be fine. I'm not even kidding, that actually happened. Excuse me. But every single time I take these arms out, I feel like I'm gonna rip it. And I get so nervous and anxious every time, like, don't rip it, don't rip it, don't rip it. This was a lot of money. Anyway, Gigan Claws. Why does he have Gigan Claws? This is from the 5th short. This is from Fest Godzilla 5. During the fight against Ghidorah, they're struggling against him. Ghidorah is a big, powerful monster. And they authorize the use of the Gigan Claws. There you go, that's your reason. I think, I don't remember, I've not watched it in a while. These things look great though, I love Jet with them. I remember seeing them in the movie whenever they actually happened, and I thought it was like the greatest thing ever. I was sending that screenshot to so many people. On the figure as well though, they do look quite good. I do quite like them. The only problem I have though, is I think it's more because of my one and the foot. So say I have them like that, where he falls over. There's a lot of weight to these things. So, yeah, he just falls over. So I don't know if it's, to be fair, I don't know if it's just my one or that's just what happens. I've got to keep them like that. Between the two, which one do I prefer? I don't really know, to be honest. I like both of them. I do like both of them. But I don't put these ones on a lot. I put the other ones on a lot. But I would feel like I like these ones more. But I put those. I'm so confused with this thing. Why do I feel the way I do? I'll kind of explain it in my next point. Jaguar Generations time. On the right, we have the old, and we have the new on the left. Yeah, this one is. I actually completely forgot how dirty this old one was. I can't. That was not me. That wasn't me. I didn't do any of that. These are all secondhand. There's a lot of Jet Jaguar figures. This is, I think, the earliest Bandai. There was a lot made. There was ones where he was a firefighter, a medic. There's ones that were made in between these two, which feel more like that one, but still have a little bit of that one in it. Yeah, anyway. That's them compared to each other. Sizing wise, the new one is a little bit bigger. He keeps trying to lean over to tell him something. It just looks off. Let me see. Yeah, even he is definitely bigger by a little bit. But just articulation wise, they're practically the same. Which one do I like more? I'm not gonna lie, I do like this one more. I don't say that a lot about Bandai stuff a lot of times nowadays, because I just don't think the figures are as good as they used to be. I mean, look at Kaiser. Kaiser's a great example. Kaiser's one of my favorite Bandai figures, and then they made a new one, and it looked like that. For those who know what it looked like, yeah, you know what I mean. But I think this one is really nice, actually. It's one of the better ones. I've always sort of felt with this one, particularly if you look at the eyes, they're black. It's like Michael Myers is piloting Jaguar. Whilst these ones are more to what Jet actually looked like. Yeah, like Jet had these weird psychedelic blue eyes, which I think gives the figure more life, but also makes him look a little bit more deranged. But that thumbs up means something else. The one thing though, and whilst I do like the thumbs up, and I do tend to keep him with this, and this is what I was talking about in the last bit, why I'm so conflicted. Because on one hand, I want him just to have the regular hands. But on the other hand, the Gigan claws give him more of a neutral pose like that. And keep in mind, I love the SH Monstars line, you know, the articulation series. Most of my Godzilla figures are like a standard pose. Like, I don't pose them particularly, like, grandiose or anything like that. It's just my preference. So that's the one thing I think that has, is that it is a neutral pose. But at the same time, the thumbs up kind of gives this life, a little bit more life. So I'm conflicted in that way. But overall, I'd say this one is definitely the better one. Good job, Bandai. Now here's the new Jet alongside his arch nemesis, Megalon. I mean, he hates him that much that he stole his year. It was the anniversary of Godzilla versus Megalon, and yet Jet got more than Megalon did. I'm not bitter at all. I'm not bitter at all. This is the older Megalon, by the way. It's not the newer one. The newer one's a wee bit poo, honestly, at least in terms of its detailing. So I just prefer to keep this one, even if he is massively, like, giant in comparison. Like, here's him compared to that Jet that I had. Since he is smaller, Megalon was not that big. He just wasn't that big. Excuse me. But also, I thought, just for a little bit of fun, the only thing the Megalon got in his anniversary year, the gemstone Megalon. Yes, I actually own this. I don't own Gigan Rex, which just annoys me, so... And yes, the tag is still on him, because if I ever sell him, I can sell him for, like, what, £1 million, even though his resale value still hasn't gone up. God damn it! Yeah, that's Jet compared to the two Megalon figures that I own. This one's clearly more in scale. It's the fault with these 90s Bandai figures, they were too big. We have Jet with Final Wars Godzilla. Why Final Wars Godzilla? Well, because that's really the design used for the Fest Godzilla short films. So I thought, why not get the Final Wars Godzilla out in comparison? I absolutely love this figure, by the way. It's probably my favorite Bandai Godzilla. I really like him. When I made my favorite Godzilla figures, I really wanted to have him, and I was really sad that he missed out. But there you go, honorable mention at least. Anyway, yeah, he's really small in comparison. Godzilla and Jet were about the same height, but I think that's just more because this figure was kind of a wee bit of a runt, even back then. He usually gets dwarfed, so yeah. I should get his other opponent, shouldn't I? Behold. Oops. The scaling wasn't this bad. I just wanted to show off that I had this, GMK Ghidorah from, 2001, where they made, the figures really big for some reason. It just looks funny as a size comparison. So, yeah. But it was also the design used for that short film, so that's why I grabbed it. I have the other one, but I just don't like the other one. So I just thought, fuck it, I'll show this one. So, final thoughts. Excuse me. I hadn't shown this yet. I have like one claw and one fist. It does look quite funny with that. Anyway. Overall, I really like this one. Like I said before, I don't really buy a lot of the new Bandai stuff because they're just not as good as they used to be. Unless it's something new like Super Godzilla or Zilla or whoever else that hadn't had a Bandai yet. Or the Bandai was just way too expensive. But this is one of the more, I feel like, is it premium? I think it might be one of the more premium ones where it just looks better. His detailing is great. I like the fact that his eyes are right, the more psychedelic eyes that he had in the movie. Remember Hypnotoad from Futurama? I'm kind of getting that vibe right now. Pricing wise, I can't remember how much I paid for him. Yeah, I can't. I think it was about 40 or something like that. Which, you know, I feel like if you can get him for cheap, you know, obviously anything's worth it for cheap. But if you're looking for a jet figure, though, I recommend that one. I recommend this one, honestly. It's probably my preferred one at the moment. Well, yeah, I'd say I like it the most. I don't have a lot of jet figures, so that's probably why. But I don't own the SH, and there's other ones I don't own. But overall, yeah, I'm quite fond of this one. That's the end of this Godzilla Showcase. Please stay tuned. I have an announcement at the end of this video, and I'll hand it over to Jet for his rating. Hang on a bloody second. Of course Jet's going to give it approval. It's himself! Anyway, what's the announcement? Why are these two in front of me? Well, it has to do with the Two Idiots and the Megalon videos. Yay, the announcement's here. So before I go on about the announcement, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about, of the time of recording this video, Two Idiots and a Megalon 2 has hit over 1,000 views, which is insane to me. Honestly, it's insane. I didn't expect it to. I made the Two Idiots and a Megalon videos as 100 subscriber specials, or at least the first one was. I originally was going to wait until higher release figures. You may laugh now. But I just wanted to keep doing it, and I didn't really have other figures that I thought were like good enough for proper videos and all this sort of stuff. So I decided, screw it, I'm gonna go with what my gut says and make comedy videos. And they done well. They did well enough for themselves that it's given me a confidence and a drive that I haven't felt in a while, to actually go with an old idea of mine. To give a idea, so the series, the announcement, it's going to be a series, but it's not going to be called Two Idiots and a Megalon. That was just sort of like the first two videos I mean, I just wanted to give it a funny haha, like 2.5 Men style name for the first two videos. But the series will be called Godzilla and King Ghidorah. We are going to be focusing on Godzilla and King Ghidorah. Obviously, they're the little characters, and just the wacky nonsense that happens in their lives. Gigan and Megalon will still be characters, excuse me, more side characters than what they were in those two videos beforehand. And yeah, to give an idea, I've always really liked things like Army the Chief. I've really liked Reviving Bionicle. Those are the two that come to my head whenever I think about this. And I've always sort of wanted to do something similar to them, but just with what I had at my exposure, which was Godzilla figures. So if those videos doing well, the channel doing well, it's made me want to do it. So the first episode is practically done. Well, written, I should say. It's not filmed, it's not edited, it's no voice acting yet. Pretty much everything that's important isn't done yet. But I don't really want to give a time frame for when to expect that video to come out, but that's screw it, I will. Expect it, at least expect it for around about the end of the month. That's when it should be ready, honestly. I'm hoping that'll be ready by the end of the month. Like I said, the episode's written. I just need to get time to film it. Obviously, with having a full-time job and other responsibilities in life, it will be, you know, I'll have to fit it into a tight schedule, but I want to do it because it's something I've always wanted to do, and you fellas have really like motivated somebody who was down in his luck and completely drained and just completely demotivated. So that's the announcement. It will become a series. Expect the first episode relatively soon. That's all for now. Thank you, God bless, and have a good night.